Now, Sima Gaikwad from Nasik Civil focus on learning to describe objects. So I request her and please.
Hello, I am Sima Gaikwad. I am working at ZP School Dhamanggaon, Block Kerala, District Nashik. My tag code is NAS 128 and my topic is learning to describe the object. So next slide please. Through various time meetings, I learned different activities and techniques such as drilling, questioning, interaction pattern. But in order to develop the describing skill among my students, I got some innovative idea from the resource book. And through this presentation, I am going to show you that how did I develop the describing skill among my students with the help of learning by reading and learning by watching. And as a result of this, you can see my students can easily describe any object within 5 or 10 sentences. I will also share you some challenges which I came across while developing the skill among my students. And at the last, I have some tips for the teachers. So next slide. In the 5th standard, there is one topic about the things, and the learning outcome is that students should able to frame a meaningful sentence or a phrase. To complete this learning outcome, I got some innovative idea from the resource book. We all know that there are the 4 sections in our resource book, and 2 of them learning by reading and learning by watching. In learning by reading, the 7 number topic is speaking and young learners. So in that topic they describe that if you want to speak up your students, give them a proper reason, use some interaction patterns such as a pair work and group discussion. So I use this technique. And in learning by watching, the first topic we all know that involving learners with a simple question. So all those topics help me to develop the describing skill among my students. To complete the learning outcome, I use some interaction pattern such as a pair work and a group discussion. But before that, I gave my student one diagram, and this diagram really helped my students to make more and more sentences. For example, if I gave them an object to describe table, I made a circle on the blackboard. I put the name of the object table in the middle of the circle. I draw some arrows, and the point of the arrows, I gave them some key points. For example, object's name, shape, size, color, use, like, living, non-living, like that. So with the help of these points, my students can easily describe any object. And to get more practice, I use some interaction pattern such as a pair work and group discussion. In a pair work, I put 2 students in a pair. I used here some realia. We all know that there are the many objects in our class such as a pen, pencil, table, book, notebook, like that. So I gave them one realia. And with the help of this realia, one member will ask the question to another member and he will give the answer. For example, the question will be, what is this? What is the color of the bottle? What is the size of the bottle? What is the shape of the bottle? Do you like bottle? Like that. So I take practice with the help of pair work. And then I use group discussion. I put 4 students in a group and I use some Marathi pages picture card here. I gave them some pictures and I gave them opportunity to describe it. For example, I gave them a picture of nature. They will describe, this is the nature pic. There are the 4 trees. There are the mango tree. Boys are playing. Like that, they will describe easily. And when they work in a pair work and in a group discussion, I was playing the role of monitoring. I was observing them. And if anyone did mistake, I help them, cooperate them and correct their mistake. So in this way, I use interaction pattern and some techniques to teach this lesson. And afterwards, I have some key highlights points of my presentation. You made diagrams. I already told you that. And I use some activities to get more practice. First one is chain drill activity. In that activity, I made a circle of my students. Actually, what happened? My students were stuck on some sentences. For example, I feel happy when I get new mobile. There are many types of mobile. So to get more practice, I told my students to repeat this sentence after me, and then they will repeat this sentence one by one. So actually, what happened? Due to this, they got more practice to listen and to speak up again and again. So they will not forget this sentence again. And next one is onion ring activity. In onion ring activity, I made 2 circles. One is inner and another one is outer circle. I used here some realia. Inner member circle will ask the question to outer member circles with the help of realia. and they will give the answer. For example, they have a mobile. Do you like mobile? Which company of the mobile? Like that. So to get more practice, I use this activity, and I also use 1 minute activity. In 1 minute activity, I made some chits of the objects. I put these chits in the bowl, and I told my students to pick up the chits and speak more and more sentences about this object within the 1 minute. So to get more practice, I use chain drill, onion ring, and 1 minute activities. And after that, I got some fruitful result of my students. I saw some measurable changes in my students, and first one is that my students easily frame minimum 10 sentences. They learn how to use prepositions. For example, mobile is on the table, book is in my bag, like that, unintentionally. And they use some adjectives. This is a storybook, red bottle, like that. They use some degree sentences. Actually, I couldn't thought that they will use, but that was what? Mobile is smaller than the computer, like that. They learn some opposite words. I feel happy when I get new mobile. I feel sad when I get old mobile, like that. This ball is big. This is a small, like that. They learn how to frame a question, because when I ask some questions to my students, what is this? What is the color? They automatically imitate me, and they easily learn how to frame a question. And then they got the difference between noun and adjective. They can easily find out what is the noun, what is the adjective, what is the singular, what is the plural. I have 4 books, like that. So you can see here are some pictures of practice. First one is diagram, second and third they are group discussion, and in fourth one I use realia in a pair work. So you can see video. Please play the video. Some chits, pick up the chits and describe the object.
This is the mobile. The mobile color is black. I use mobile. Mobile shape is rectangle. Mobile is on the table. Mobile is in my bag. I can take video shooting. I can take photo. Mobile has nice cover. Mobile company is Vivo. I feel happy when I get new mobile. I feel sad when I get old mobile. I feel angry when anyone touch my mobile. I like mobile. Mobile is very beautiful. There are many types of mobile. Mobile is not anything. I keep the mobile in my bag. I use the mobile. I take the mobile. I want new mobile. Mobile is smaller than the computer.
22.
Water bottle is yellow. I like water. Water is in the water. I have 4 bottles. I like water. Water is. This is the pen. I like pen. There are many types of pen. I use pen. I feel happy when I get new pen. I feel sad when I get old pen. I feel angry when anyone touch my pen. I keep my pen in my bag. This is a pen. Pen color is white. This is a bag. That shape is different. That color is black. I use that. Bag in the book. Bag is on the table. Bag is under the chair. I feel happy when I get new bag. I feel sad when I get old bag. I feel angry when anyone touch my bag. There are many types of bag. This is the book. This is the storybook. This is the magnet book. Book shape is rectangle. Book color is orange. Book is on the table. Book is in the cupboard. I can catch the book. I can read the book. I feel happy when I get a new book. I feel sad when I get an old book. I feel angry when anyone touch my book. Book is very beautiful. I keep the book in my bag. Book is not living thing. I give the book. I take the book. I want new book. Okay.
So you had seen that was my video. After that, let's move on next slide. Reflection and learning.
F5.
So actually, I also faced some difficulties while taking this activity or while describing the skill among my students. And first one is that students couldn't narrate some sentences on an unfamiliar object. For example, aeroplane, because they didn't see aeroplane, so they don't have any idea. They couldn't make more and more sentences about aeroplane. There were incorrect pronunciation. Actually, what happened? I was taking the practice of the sentence. I feel angry when anyone touch my pen. So he pronounced that I feel hungry when anyone touch my mobile. So there were incorrect pronunciation and lack of vocabulary. Actually, what happened? They wanted to speak something, but they didn't. And it was happened only lack of vocabulary. They couldn't use proper structure of sentence. Sometimes they use I am having bottle, like that. So there were the mistakes. So next time, to overcome this problem, I will take care that the topic should be familiar, and I will increase their vocabulary by the different activities, and I will take more practice. So here are some tips. If you want to conduct these activities with these techniques in your class, so I have some tips. First one is topic should be familiar.
Okay. Any questions? Questions? Presentation.
What is the standard? Which standard is this?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, in this standard.
Your
there is-
students are very fluent speaker.
Yeah.
Though they commit some mistake, it happens with us also as a grown up, as a learned people. But how did you start from the beginning? So what did you
Actually-
give them as a technique for us fluency?
Yeah,
Fluent
actually,
speaking?
actually I am tag member, so firstly I learned my tag members used more and more English in your class. So when I entered my class, I asked them some questions. Hello, how are you? What day? What is the date? So what are you doing? I am taking your presenting. So they have habit.
Listening.
Speak. Yeah, and while teaching this lesson or describing this skill, I didn't tell them that we are going to speak in English 21 or 22 sentences. I was just telling them, hello friends, we are going to play a game. And I started with the simple sentence. What is this? This is a ball. And next day, I will take practice another sentence. I use ball. I have 4 balls, like that. So they can easily make some sentences.
Very nice.
That means I took the practice of one sentence by chain drill activity one day.
Very nice.
Yeah, chain drill activity, onion ring, and 1 minute activity also. By the 1 minute activity, they easily develop their fluency.
I think. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you.